Hey everyone, my name is Emily Overstreet and this is my Action Research presentation. When we began our Action Research projects a long time ago and far away, I was unemployed. This left me in a bit of a quandary as to where to go and what to do for my project. Lucky for me, my mom is an active participant with the Louisville Salvation Army Boys and Girls Clubs. She had previously mentioned to me some of their volunteer needs of which I had the skills for, such as creating websites and working with the children in a technology-savvy environment. I got right to work seeing what needed to be done and if there was anything I could do to improve the program. I started working with the Salvation Army's website and noticed their volunteer base wasn't young people oriented. Everything was static and geared toward a more paper-savvy older generation. I saw this as a problem because my generation wasn't reaching out to help the Salvation Army because none of the promotion material was geared toward us. At this point, I was gearing up to base my project on using social media to gain volunteers. Well, life changes and they hired someone to do the job I was doing as a volunteer. Thankfully, life goes on and the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club was still willing to let me volunteer with them. Every year, they teach the Smart Moves program to a 3rd grade class in a local elementary school. I was going to be working with them during the Smart Moves program and had to see if there was anything I could do to help. In the beginning of the Smart Moves program, I was observing the students and how they responded to the lessons we taught. One of the things I noticed was the students were very active in discussion. Some were focused on the discussion at hand, while others were having their own discussions. Either way, the next week, some of the students didn't know what we learned the week before. While I was watching the students, I kept thinking back to the article Digital Natives, Digital Immigrants by Mark Prensky that we read in Media Literacy and Research and referred back to during several other classes. I could see where these students had so much potential, but not all were being reached because their brains are programmed differently. At this point, I was hooked on my Action Research project because it hit me at a personal level. I am 23 years old and part of the crossover generation. Among my friends, I can see both digital natives and digital immigrants, so it was a very interesting topic to me. Anyways, I had to find a way to reach these kids that were not engaged in the lesson. Through researching different Web 2.0 tools for the classroom, I decided blogging would be the best option for my circumstances. And as a class, we set out to do just that. This year, we were doing the Smart Moves program in 2 classrooms instead of just 1. This provided an excellent platform for me. In Cycle 1, I had 1 class that just did the normal Smart Moves program. They acted as my control group. Then I had the other class set up as bloggers. This was my variable. With my bloggers, we set out to do a class blog. We discussed the importance of using proper netiquette, how to use the blog, and why blogs are useful. I explained to them how everyone from their family friend in the Netherlands, to their grandma in Hawaii, to their future colleague who goes to a neighboring school and they've never met, can all read the blog and learn from it. The purpose of our blog was to share with the community what we were learning in the Smart Moves program. It could be very beneficial since there are over 30 elementary schools in the county and only 1 has a Smart Moves program. Then we posted a comment on a blog entry I had written beforehand so we could practice commenting. After the students were comfortable, they were full of information to post about our lesson. To speed up the process, the students would raise their hands and tell me what to type. We worked some with grammar, but not as much as we should have. Also, many people suggested using a known individual to keep their own blog and leave comments on the class blog. I had another 3rd grade student from a different school do this. I didn't tell the students that it was set up, but they enjoyed seeing that someone had read their blog. I even had several students go home and show our blog to their parents. Since Cycle 1 worked so well, for Cycle 2 I had several students from the blogging class write as individual bloggers on our class blog. The other students in the class were now my control group, and the individual bloggers were my variable. The bloggers had their own logons, and at the last 5 to 10 minutes of class, would write their short entry. It was less time than I would prefer, but it still worked out wonderfully. The students that were blogging were more engaged than the students who were not. Because of the access to the blog and physically doing the activity, it helped them think back to the lesson. Also, the students worked better as individual bloggers than as a group. I think this is partially due to the fact that they feel free to express themselves if they aren't part of a group. At the end of the program, I had one of my students who was excited to tell me she planned on setting up her own blog over the summer. I thoroughly believe this project was a success. At times it seemed a little rough, but reflecting on it, I see many more positives than negatives about it. As I have previously stated, blogging did improve student focus and memory of the lesson. It was more effective if they blogged as individuals, but even blogging as a group shows improvement over not blogging. Something I failed to note earlier is this project was effective enough that even the reserve students were participating in the group blog. If I have the opportunity to do it again, I would make several simple changes. First and foremost, if I have my own classroom, I will set aside 20 minutes a day to blog. Most students are willing to try harder when they have an audience. Also, I would like to network blogs, not just in my classroom or school, but students in the district and the world. I will maintain a class blog, and the students will all have their own blog associated with the class blog. Each week a different student will have their posts on the main class blog. Also, if I had more time, I would integrate more images, video, and audio into the blog. I think the Smart Moves program would benefit greatly from that. Last but not least, we would focus more on grammar and editing. We were short on time in Smart Moves, but I think I should have focused a little more on grammar. My action research project has made a huge impact on my future. In the beginning of this year, I was trying to decide whether I would like to be in the classroom or work in the nonprofit sector. After spending the last year in the classroom, I think I'm going to stay there. I have a background in technology, and with the help from Full Sail, I now see where it belongs in the classroom and the need for it. I have been blogging for several years now, and always thought it could be put to great use in the classroom. Between my literature review and my own research, I fully believe in blogging as well as other 2.0 tools as classroom worthy. Also, this project has given me self-confidence. I thought I could do it before, but this program has proved to me that I am capable of teaching technology to young students. This project has also pushed my creativity, and I am grateful for that. Lastly, the book Art of Possibility by Rosamund and Benjamin Zander has helped me look at my life and my project in an encouraging way, and that is a great benefit.